Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for something anime related in relation to the series of, the first season of 3, to which I managed to come across 3 episodes, which are basically sort of like small specials of a sort in relation to the series. I'll now move in relation to what these episodes spoke about, and each of these episodes were roughly 5 to 6 minutes in length, and seeing that they were, I guess, small in size, they were broken down into parts. Now, the first 2 episodes, we ended up getting a 2-part episode in each, so the first half and the second half. When it moves to the 3rd episode, we have 3 parts to it. So overall, we're looking at about maybe 7 parts overall, which make up these episodes. So jumping into episode 1, the first half of this episode centered on some of Makato's troubles with Haru, where he explains to Nagisa that whenever he sometimes goes out with Haru, Haru manages to, I guess, find a good fair amount of water to dive into, pretty much face first, and how he manages to strip off and have his swimsuit all ready wherever he goes. So with this, Makato and Nagisa devise a plan to sort of like get Haru to, do the same at the swim club. And they start off with like some small little bits of water, and they eventually move to, say, the equivalent of a swim pool or a paddle pool of water, to which it ends up leading Haru to jump into it. The next part of the first episode focuses on the recruitment program for the Iwatabi Swim Club and what they do in relation to that. I do like how at the end of this particular episode that they end up making like a bit of a short comic in relation to the Iwatabi Swim Club, and I thought that was really clever. Jumping into the next episode, episode 2. Now, the first part of this episode focuses on Rei and Nitori, and we realize that Rin and Nitori. So we get to see what's happening with one of the Iwatabi Swim Club mates at their other school, and also what's happening with them there. And throughout the week, we get to see what's happening between Rin and Nitori. And whilst this is occurring, we can see how disorganized Nitori is compared to Rin, who is completely organized. He ends up going out of his way to making the space completely organized, only for the next Monday to come and it's a complete utter mess again. So yes, Nitori can be very disorganized. Moving into the next part of the episode, we end up moving into some more of the area of Rei's training. Now, this is a very, very short part of the episode after like what is left with the story and what's left. And we end up basically catching up with Rei in a bit of a daydream. And after he has this bit of a daydream, he tries to do a dive. And not long after he makes the dive, we have Nagisa have a bit of a laugh of him in the classroom. Absolutely hilarious. Really good episode. So jumping into last but not least, we move into the 3rd episode in relation to this extra for this particular season, and this one has at least 3 parts to it. And for the first part, we do return back to the character of Rei, who was a character that was recruited into the Iwatabi Swim Club, and with it we do get to see him get some help from Nagisa, who I still stand by to say that Nagisa is the glue that holds this group together. Hopefully by the time that this comes out. It depends on what comes out first in relation to some of the reviews focused around 3. I don't know if the season 3 stuff will be out yet. If not, well, you're hearing it from me now that I consider Nagisa the glue that holds the Iwatabi Swim Club together. I don't know how he does it, but considering some of the things that this character has gone through. Oh yes, we also learn a little bit more about Nagisa too, is that he also grew up with some older sisters who basically treated him like a bit of a toy of sorts. We do get a minor flashback, but it still sort of doesn't quite make sense as to how he can get such a strict, I guess, a strict or very strict in his learning in that. Who knows, that might change after watching some of the stuff in relation to season 2 as to what happens there, and some of the additional movies that come out there, and also additional OVAs. So with the first part, they help Ray. With the first part of episode 3, they help Ray sort out what to get, basically speedo wise, and they do eventually end up picking a speedo, or he ends up picking up a speedo that he chooses to use, like in the swimming competitions. After that, we get just a very small, minute little bit into the Iwatabi Swim Club training. It's for basically a couple of seconds, at least, probably 5 or 10 seconds, and then we move into the last part of this 3rd episode, which is we see the character of Rin speaking with Haru, and in it we also have like the rest of the members of the Iwatabi Swim Club, to which the Iwatabi Swim Club actually talk to Haru, because they don't really see the character, I guess, be joyful or laugh as much. And I must admit, it is a very fair point that they do bring up, especially in relation to the first season of the character, because you only see him sort of like have fun so much, and then he's just straight back into diving again. He just loves the swim. If anything, I think he loves the swim more than the rest of the members of the Iwatabi Swim Club altogether. So after that pretty much finishes it off. There's not much of a soundtrack to this in relation to the series, but I did actually enjoy learning these little small things in relation to these characters. I must admit, I think if they were to do this, that they could have put this up all as one episode in relation to the series, and it could have just been something like an episode of just, say, exploring some of the days with this swim club and what they normally do, and also including the stuff that happened with Rin and Nitori. It would have been really good to see that too, if they did put it up as one episode to go with the original first season. They could even set it at like the very last episode, to which it would, of course, leave myself with less to do in regards to covering the series. But apart from that, animation consistent, characters still consistent with the story that we get within the first season, and I still stand by it. Nagisa is the glue that holds the Iwatabi Swim Club together. It doesn't matter what season that you put him in, he's still the glue that holds them together. So jumping into the next thing, and that is the area of the ratings. So main characters, well, I think all we ever got in this was the main characters. So cutting out all supporting characters in relation to this series, so it's not really needed, or in relation to these episodes. For this, I give the main characters an 8.5 out of 10. Jumping into the next area, and that is the area of the animation, to which I give an 8 out of 10. Next after that is the area of the story in relation to this series, to which I give an 8.5 out of 10. Now, until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.
僕の手は見たことない景色へつながった尋常じゃない感情は通りさいなまれた When you want this I chose number point 本編手帳に